All right, we are officially recording. Good evening, Team Our Victory. Brittany McMillan here, and I'm so excited to get to talk to you guys tonight. Our topic is about the 4 agreements. Now, this is a book. I'm going to show you the book right here, The 4 Agreements, and it's by Don Miguel Ruiz. Not sure if you can see that, but it's a book about, it comes from the Toltec idea. And so I'm not going to get into so much, this book and just, the background of it so much, but this book definitely comes from a spiritual place. But the awesome part about this book is as I was reading it, I read it a long, long time ago, and I decided, let me pick that back up off the shelf and let me do a little reading on those 4 agreements. What are those 4 agreements? And as I was reading these 4 agreements, I just started to realize, these are so applicable to so many areas of life. You could apply this to relationships. You could apply this to the way you foster friendships. You could apply this into your work environment. You could apply this into your family and your home. You could apply this into your own personal health and, just your own kind of me time and just everything. You can apply this in so many areas. So tonight, I wanted to apply the 4 agreements into Beachbody. So like I said, the 4 agreements comes from the Toltec philosophy, and the Toltec philosophy basically means, Toltec meaning artist. So an artist is a creator. There's somebody that creates something, right? So what the Toltec believe is they believe that everybody is an artist. Everyone is a creator, and you are the creator of your own life, of your own destiny. And being a creator, we write our own life stories. So I thought that was so cool because in this business, we're like artists. We are creators. We create our own income. We create our own work hours. We create our own challenge groups. We create our own dreams. We create our goals. We're able to create all of that from scratch because it's our own business. We're business owners and we're entrepreneurs. And so I thought that this was just such a cool concept to kind of parallel to Beachbody, because as Toltec artists, we are artists in our own craft. We're artists that share about fitness and about what's worked for us and our journey. And we're just artists that want to create that pathway for other people. And by doing that, we create our own success and our own dreams because of that. So I'm going to get into, this is kind of a little background on what the 4 agreements is kind of based off of, but there are 4 agreements that basically, if you get in line with these 4 things, if you straighten the arrow and you're in line with these 4 easy concepts, and truthfully, they're really easy. Like, I'm not going to blow your mind tonight. I might blow your mind a little bit at how easy they are. But remember, the easiest things are often the ones we overlook the most because they're easy to also just forget about or skip past or not do, right? So even though these are pretty easy, the 4 things I'm going to tell you are pretty easy, they do take effort and they do take work. And there are areas of my life that as I read this and as I was brushing up on it, and then as I was writing this out for tonight, there are areas that I'm like, wow, I could use some work in these too. So I'm going to be totally honest and transparent with you tonight, as I always am. And I hope you have your pen, paper, notepad, all that good stuff out, because there's going to be definite notes to take. So first agreement. This is by far the most important agreement. And I'm going to tell you before I even say what the agreement is, every other agreement trickles off of this one. It branches off of this first agreement. If you can get in line with this first agreement and you can make it a discipline and a serious practice of yours, if you can do that, then the other ones won't be as difficult to get in line with. Okay? So the first one, be impeccable with your word. Now that seems easy, right? Be impeccable with your word. Like, be what you say is what you're going to do. If I say something, I'm going to do it. But let's really think about it. Words are so powerful. Words can inspire somebody, or they can bring somebody completely down without even really realizing it. Our words have such great power, probably more power than sometimes we realize in the moment we either say them or type them. Our words are powerful. So when I say be impeccable with your word, it's not as simple as like, I'm just going to do it because I said it, so I'm going to do it. That is the basis. Following through is like the underlying basis of this. But understanding just in general, in every interaction you have, your words are so powerful. And I think it's really important in this business as we make connections with people and we're trying to form relationships before we even dive into the opportunity of a challenge group or the coaching opportunity. As we're having these conversations, what we're saying to people and how they're reading it, how they're taking our words is just so important as business owners. We always want to come across as genuine, and we want to come across as loving, and that we're thoughtful, and that we have somebody else's interest in mind before our own. We don't lead a conversation with our own desire. We lead a conversation wanting to understand what someone else's desire is, and then being able to come back and offer help and support if that's the case. So let's talk about this as a coach, okay? Because as a coach, a working coach on this team, what does that mean to be impeccable with your word? Well, first and foremost, you got a goal set. And I don't know if you got a chance to watch the Team 180 webinar from Monday, but it was all about goal setting. And goal setting really, if you are a business owner, if you're working in this business, if you want to earn an income, you got to set goals. And even if you're not, really working this business and you're just trying to get a little bit of money on the side, we know from our challenge groups, we know from these products, we know from our own fitness and health journey that setting goals is crucial, because if we don't actually set goals, there's nothing that we're really aiming to do, right? We don't have any direction. So goal setting is really important because those are the first words that you're going to be able to be impeccable with. For example, this month, I will tell you right now some of my September goals. I'm going to flip back in my little notebook and I will read off what I wrote, because this is going to hold me more accountable and it's going to force me to be more impeccable with my word. But I wrote that I want to hit SC20. That SC20 is a goal of mine this month. There's 3 books. There are 4 books that I wrote down that I'm going to, 2 of which I'm going to finish because I'm partway through, 2 of which I'm going to start and read the whole thing. So I've got 4 books on my personal development list for the month of September. Leaders Eat Last. I'm reading the Lance Armstrong biography right now, The Power of Habit, and You Are a Badass, in case you want to know what I'm reading. I also decided that I want to finish another Bible study because in the move, I had kind of gotten off track with that, and that's really important too. Also, my personal development, I think that Bible studies help me also with that. I want to add 5 more coaches this month to Team Our Victory. I want to help 2 coaches in Team Our Victory go to Emerald this month. And in terms of my PIO Live, I want to get PIO Live going by the end of September. I want to have a class already scheduled to go. So those are my words for September. Those are my goals. That's where I'm trying to go in September. And when you write it down, then you've got concrete words to guide you along. So what's the next thing as a coach with being impeccable about our word? Well, showing up. So if you write down your goals and you write down and you say what you want to do, then you've got to show up and you've got to do it. We have to take ownership of our business. I think far too often it's very easy. It's very easy to say, yeah, I want to hit Success Club 5 and I'd like to run a challenge group. And I like that. It's really easy to say that, but are you being impeccable with your word? When you say that, is that just nice to say, or do you really mean it? Because for me, if somebody on my downline tells me that they want to run a challenge group, or they want to hit Emerald, or they want to hit Success Club this month, if they tell me that, that's it. It's very transparent to me. That's what they want. And so that's what I'm going to push towards. So when it becomes a little unfair, when your agreements are not in line is when you say something and that's not really what you meant. So as a coach, if you have a goal that you want to hit and you say so, then you've got to get in line with that. You've got to make sure your words are matching your actions and your actions are matching your words. As a coach talking, so that's coach like, within our team, talking coach to coach. But as a coach talking to potential clients, you've got to follow up with them. You've got to make sure that when you're speaking with people, that if you tell them that you're going to support them, that you support them. If you tell them that you're going to put them in a challenge group, then you have to put them in a challenge group. If you tell them that you're going to have a meal planner provided for them, then you've got to provide the meal planner, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I could go on forever about it. But if you tell a paying customer something, then you've got to go back on your word and you've got to be impeccable with it. You've got to get in line with that first agreement about being impeccable with your word. Your word is so powerful, and it makes you look like more of a professional when you say things and you actually carry them out, right? So keep that in mind. Words definitely have power. We spoke about this. They can be positive, they can be negative. And my friends, I encourage you to choose wisely with your negative words, especially on social media, because that's where we do our business. So when you're having a bad day, it's okay, but find the lesson in it. Find that silver lining, and share that with people so that they can see that, yeah, I do have bad days. I'm not perfect. My life isn't easy breezy, beautiful, right? But here's what happened to me today, and here's what I learned from it, so that they can see that you're truly on a journey to bettering yourself. Words form beliefs about people, about things, about ideas. Words form beliefs. So make sure that the words that you're telling people are, allowing them to have uplifting beliefs about themselves. I know as coaches, we always want to push our clients. We almost want the goal more than they want it, because we know their potential, and sometimes they can't see it for themselves. But we've got to be very careful that we're using encouraging words and lining that up so that we're uplifting people with their beliefs about themselves. And words set boundaries. Sometimes I might have I might come across harsh in tone or in dialogue about something. And I've had people who don't like what I have to tell them. I've never said anything, though, without my heart in the right place. And that's something I can credit myself for, is that when I say things, I don't just say things. I have a lot of thought behind the things I'm going to say, and I've probably thought a long time about it before I've actually verbally expressed it to somebody. But a lot of times when we have to set our own boundaries and our own expectations for things, sometimes people don't want to hear it. They don't like that, right? Because it almost feels like they're being told what to do. But it's so crucial as a human being to have boundaries in place, to let people know what's acceptable behavior and what's not acceptable behavior, to have expectations in our challenge groups, have expectations on our team. If we don't have expectations for people, then people are just going to do whatever they want. They've got to know what you expect from them so that they can rise to that occasion, so they can grow into what you expect of them. Expectations are really important when we talk about words. And just keep in mind, guys, that there's only one of you. There's only one of you ever, ever, ever in this world. So the words you say, the things that you believe, the way you follow up, all of that, so important because you're so unique. You're unique. There's only one of you. And so when people are coming to you and they're attracted to your story, or they're attracted to your journey, your words are so powerful to them because of who you are. So you got to keep that in mind, that your words, you don't have to say somebody else's words, you don't have to copy and paste other people's stuff, because you are the only one on this planet living the life that you live. So look at your own life and use the words wisely to kind of draw people in to follow you. Okay, number 2, the second agreement is don't take anything personally. This is a hard one. It's hard for me because, man, it's hard when let's just talk about this business. When you hear no, sometimes it really feels like a dagger in the heart, right? When you hear somebody say no, it does feel like they hate you, but they don't. I mean, you can't take it personally. Maybe financially, they're just not in the right place. Maybe their time right now, they're just super busy and they're not even going to give it their all. You can't take things personally, especially when we hear the word no. Another time I think in this business, we take things personally is when somebody doesn't respond to us. And I've been trying to work on that one definitely, because I always feel, especially on social media, it's really easy to just not answer somebody. It's easy to message someone and then message them again and then message them again and feel like a total nag. It's really easy to do that on social media. And when they don't respond, it just feels disrespectful. But we can't take it personally. Let me read a little quote from the book right now that totally like explains all this. It says, "What you say, what you do, and the opinions you have are according to the agreements you have made, and those opinions have nothing to do with me." So think about that. What other people do, okay? What other people are saying, whatever opinions they have, those are the things that they've brought themselves to believe over time. Whatever situations have happened in their life to lead them to that point, that's what gets them to say things like that. I've had people lash out at me, and it hurts because you think like they're doing it to you, right? When they say these rough words, but then when you step back and you think about it, it's like, no, they're not actually upset with me. They're upset with themselves. There's something in their life that I just triggered, and I happen to be the one standing here for it, and I got the lashing, but it's not me. It's not. It's what their life has led them to this point. And it's got nothing to do with you. So we've got to release ourselves from taking things personally. So another time when this happens, I think, in our business is when a customer also quits on us. Maybe they decide they don't want their shake anymore, or they decide they don't want to do a challenge group anymore, or a coach quits on you and decides it's not for them. A lot of times it's a personal business. We're in the business. It's very human what we do, because we are working one-on-one with people, and we're working to make them the best person that they can be. And so it gets very personal. But again, you can't take it personally, because whatever's happening in their life, it's not you, it's them. Okay? So agreement number 2, don't take anything personally. Third agreement, don't make assumptions. Okay, this is another one. Like, this was another one where I'm like, okay, that's totally me. Ugh, called out. We make assumptions all the time. It's a natural tendency to make assumptions. We assume what other people are doing. Like, right, like I called somebody and they didn't answer, and we were supposed to hang out. And so like, I'm assuming that they're off, like having so much fun without me, and they didn't even invite me. Have you ever been there? I've totally been there. So we make assumptions about that, about what other people are doing. We also assume what they're thinking. We do that a lot with our relationships, like with our spouse or with our boyfriends or whatnot. We do that a lot in relationships, where I assume that you know what I'm thinking, or you walk in the door and I'm already assuming the way you're feeling. We got to get rid of those assumptions. Another assumption, so in groups, talking about Beachbody and challenge groups, when somebody doesn't join a group, we make assumptions about maybe why they don't want to join the group, right? So in these situations, the biggest thing that's missing, if you haven't already guessed, is communication. Communication is key in this third agreement about not making assumptions. The way that we don't make assumptions about things is we ask, we talk, we open up dialogue, we get out and we communicate. And I think that's a really hard concept nowadays for people, especially with social media, and especially with people can hide behind a screen very easily. And I don't like that. I don't like the fact that somebody can just text you or be really mean to you via text or message and then just disappear. It's like, no, talk to me. Let's talk about this as adults, as human beings, right? It's almost like a lost art form. So communication, though, is key. If you don't know what somebody's thinking, don't assume it, ask. If you don't know what somebody's doing and they haven't responded to you, don't make an assumption. Just wait until they respond to you, or don't worry about it, right? Most of the drama we create in our lives is based off of assumptions that we've made. So it's important that we start getting rid of that, because guess what? A lot of times the assumptions are false, actually more often than not. We create scenarios in our mind that are so much worse than the actual scenario ever really is. And then we start to believe them too, right? Sometimes we start to make beliefs based off of false assumptions. And, we've got to be very careful with that, because that can destroy relationships, friendships. It can destroy families. It can destroy so many things. So I encourage you, the best way to overcome number 3 about assumptions is to just communicate. In our business, we assume, let's talk just about like posting, right? Because I think one of the scariest things is sometimes as a newer coach, going on social media and deciding that you're going to post about stuff. Oh, something on the bottom of my bottle. I think it was a receipt from the car. Anyway, we make assumptions when we're starting off on social media, and we're nervous, right? So we assume that people aren't going to like our posts. Like, nobody's going to like this. I'm not even going to bother. So we make that assumption. We assume that maybe, I know this sounds like kind of elementary, but that people are making fun of us, like secretly on some other social media forum. They all get together and make fun of the posts that we're posting or whatever. We make assumptions about that. We assume that people are annoyed by our posts. Like, oh, there's that fitness person again. There she is. There he is. So annoying. We assume that. And we also assume that people know what we're doing, that people know about our groups, that people know about the products and the programs, that people know about Shakeology. We make assumptions that people are in the loop and that they have some sort of clue about what all this stuff is, when in actuality, most people have no idea what these challenge groups really are. So when you say a challenge group, they don't even really know what you're talking about. So a lot of times we make these assumptions and we miss out on great opportunities because we're assuming things. By not posting things and not sharing because we think people aren't going to like it, or people are going to make fun of us, or they're annoyed by our posts, by not sharing, you're missing that person out there that's not annoyed. You're missing that person out there that does like your posts, and that person that is really inspired by your words every day. And so it's important that we don't make these assumptions about what people are thinking, because we truly don't know. We truly don't know. And also, again, that people know what we're doing. We make assumptions that they know about our groups and everything. And I encourage you to get out there and to just keep sharing about what it is, what it's all about. I encourage you to make a video, tell people what your groups are all about, and why they should join you. And or make a why post. Maybe make a why video. Why did you decide to become a Beachbody coach? Or why do you work out every day to these silly at-home workouts and drink this silly shake? Why do you do that? And create a little video or a post about that why factor. And then, just do it. Do it without assuming that people don't need to hear it, because there are people that do need to hear it. All right. 4th and final agreement is always do your best. I love this one. I really love this last one. I'm going to give you another quote because this quote is super, super amazing. It says, "It's impossible to search new oceans unless we have the courage to lose sight of the shore." This business is all about doing our best. It's all about leaps of faith. It's all about, that courage that sometimes we don't think we have. And I think sometimes, far too often, we get caught in traps, like these mundane, mindless, like day in, day out traps of just not really doing much. And you lay your head down at night on the pillow, and if you were to ask yourself, did I do my best today? What would that even really mean? What does that look like? And I love this business because it totally opens doors and opportunities to be a better version of yourself than you once were, and to inspire other people to be better versions of themselves too. So how can you do your best? What does that mean in this business? Well, it's very simple tasks. Do your workouts. Eat well, drink Shakeology. That's doing your best. If you drank your shake today, you're doing your best. If you did a Beachbody workout, or you got outside and you ran a little bit, or you went on a walk, you're doing your best. You're fighting the good fight. If you made your family a delicious dinner that was nutrient dense and hid the veggies on them a little bit, and you ate well tonight, you're doing your best. Sharing. Are you on social media talking about what you're doing? Did you post about that dinner you just made, or did you show yourself running today? Are you sharing about your journey? If you are, you're doing your best. You are doing your best. Are you having bad days? Because if you are, you're doing your best. And I know that one sounds weird, like, Brittany, how could I be doing my best if I'm having a bad day? Well, that's called life. We're going to have bad days. We're going to have ups and we're going to have downs. But if you have a bad day and you're growing from it, and there's a lesson to be learned, and you come out stronger, so that the next time you encounter a similar situation, you know how to combat it, you're doing your best. Did you read for personal development today? Did you read 10 minutes, 10 pages out of a great book that's just going to fill your mind with good stuff? You're doing your best if you did. Are you running engaging, fun challenge groups? As a working, active coach, you're doing your best if month after month you offer people challenge groups to put your clients in a home so that they have somebody to hold them accountable for their fitness goals. And are you inviting people to join you? Are you inviting people on this journey every week? If a week goes by and you didn't invite anybody to a challenge group or to the coaching opportunity, then you're not doing your best in this business. Now, all of those things have like total ranges of what it means to be best in that. So I pointed out those things, but that doesn't mean that if you, if you only invited one person this week to a challenge group, that you're not doing your best. That might be your best today, where you are right now. And you've got to understand something about your best. Your best, two things. One, your best is yours and yours alone. There is nobody else who is you. I said that at the beginning. You are you, and that is true, right? Dr. Seuss. You're the only you there is. So your best is yours. You cannot possibly compare your best to anybody else because you're not in the same living situation. You don't have the same lifestyle. You don't work the same jobs. You don't have the same children, the same personalities. You're not living in the same cities. You're not the same age. Might not even be the same gender, right? So your best is yours alone. You can't compare to somebody else's best. Okay? Number two, your best today should be better than it was, let's say, a month ago, a year ago, totally. 5 years ago, absolutely. Your best today should be better. It should be slowly climbing day by day. And I said that you can have bad days and you can learn from it. So yeah, we have like a little roller coaster feel when we talk about our best, but it's not a roller coaster that just keeps going here up and down like waves. It should be a roller coaster that's doing this and getting to the top and growing as the days go on. So yeah, I may have had a really great day and then I had a bad day, but then I grew from it and I had a great day. And then when I had a bad day, this bad day wasn't as bad as that bad day because guess what? I'm getting better and I'm doing my best. And every day you've got to sit down at the end of the day, lay down at the end of the day and ask yourself, did I do my best? And if the answer is yes, then the next day you continue those behaviors, maybe with just a little bit more gusto than the day before, and you keep pressing. If the answer is no, then you figure out, where did I go wrong? What did I not do today in order to be my best? Now, keep in mind, your best that I was just referring to is your Beachbody best, your business best. So I'm not talking about other areas of your life, but like I said, this book can be applicable to every area of your life. It actually is. But in order, for our webinar purposes, I'm applying it to your Beachbody. So when you lay your head down at night and you're deciding, did I work my business the best that I could today? Ask yourself that each and every night. And if the answer is no, next day, wake up, make the fixes. So let's just recap real quick, and then I'm going to let you guys go for the night. The 4 Agreements, great book by Don Miguel Ruiz. Check it out. I read it, like I said, a long time ago. I read it kind of like right out of college and decided to brush back up on it, and I'm glad I did, because it's some good stuff. But that first agreement was be impeccable with your word. Make sure that when you tell somebody you're going to do something in this business, that you do it. Whether it's you're telling your upline coach that you're setting this goal and you want to do this, this, and this, then you got to do it. You can't just tell somebody that and then leave them hanging. If you're talking to your customers or your clients, potential customers about it, whatever you tell them you're going to do, you got to follow through on that word, and you've got to do it to the best that you can. Be impeccable with your word. Number 2, don't take anything personally. Like I said, it's a tough one, but it's not you, it's them. It's the situations people have already been in their life that allow them to get angry or lash out or tell you no or not respond to you. It's not you in this situation. It's truly them. So work on not taking anything personally in this business. You will be a lot happier when you sit down to work, when you don't worry about somebody saying no, or it doesn't faze you when people don't respond to you. You just move on. Number 3, don't make assumptions, right? In this business, it's so easy, especially on social media, to assume we know what's going on because maybe somebody didn't respond, or they're not posting in the challenge group, or they didn't call you back when they said they were. It's really easy to make assumptions. Get rid of the assumptions, open up dialogue and communication. And the last one, always do your best. And I know you are. You guys are rock stars. I'm so proud of you. I'm just so honored to be able to speak to you week after week on these webinars, but day in and day out on our team page. You know that I love you, and you know I'm here for you. No matter what you need in this business, I will always do my best to make sure that you can do your best. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. Any questions or comments, anything you want to talk about, just go to TOV and let's chat there.